Well, it's Tuesday. You know what that means. Welcome back. Another episode of Fade the Deuce. I'm Ryan Schroet, joined tonight by everybody's favorite Cumber, Matt McCumber.
Not your Cumber, not our Cumber. He's my Cumber.
Yeah, that's right. And everyone's favorite Urbana's finest fella, Kevin
Picker.
Ducey, who's still
sitting at 46 and 37.
Yeah, I was about to say he's cooking 4-2 last week. I mean, you'll take a 66% clip. That's pretty damn good.
Absolutely.
So, obviously we got hoops rolling now. Both college football, NFL are winding down. It's probably one of my favorite time of the year, Matt. I don't know about you, but
I love it. You can't beat it. I got the TV on all day working from home.
And driving to pick food up, right? Here we go.
That's right.
Our Illini, number 23 in the college football playoff. As I posted on X, it's just fun to be like on Thanksgiving Eve and you're like, let's see where our Illini are at tonight. That's just not
and
something.
Have a shot at a 10-win football season.
Yeah, a 10-win year, no doubt. So let's jump right into it tonight. We'll go to there's some, college football playoff implications in this first game. Memphis at Tulane. Tulane number 17 or 18 tonight.
17.
Okay. So they're waiting right there in case, with Boise. I think if Boise slips up or Tulane's probably going to end up playing Army, I think, in the AAC title game. Yeah. So, but if Boise slips up somewhere, Tulane looks like they're right there waiting. And Memphis though is a good team. This isn't going to be an easy game for them. I know it's 13.5, but Memphis, can score a lot of points. We'll start with you, Matt. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna already make my first change of the night. I had Memphis. I'm sitting here thinking, I can't pick against Tulane at home with, to your point, them sitting at number 17th in the college football playoff right now with a very outside chance. I don't think it's going to happen, but again, highly motivated. I think they have been dominant in the AAC all year and crushing teams. And Memphis, they had some hiccups. Yes, they're 9-2. They've won some games, of the fashion where they've had to come back. I mean, they barely beat a Charlotte team who is just god awful. And so, in Tulane, at Tulane, with a lot on the line here, I think Tulane is going to continue to dominate this league and score enough points. This is one where 13.5, a backdoor cover could come back to bite you here because, to Ryan's point, Memphis can score. But I like this game like 37-19 maybe, or, somewhere around 40-21, somewhere around there. So I'm going to take the green wave with some extra motivation this week. Yes, to the point, they should be in the AAC title game already. Got that locked up, both 9-2 teams, but I'm not going to go against the green wave. So half unit Tulane minus 13.5.
Kev?
Yeah, the number's just too big for me because I think Memphis is probably being, I don't want to say disrespected here. I think a lot of love is going to Tulane here, as rightfully so. We're talking about a top 10 defense, top 15 defense in both points allowed and total yards. And they're also the fourth highest scoring offense in the country. So I think there's a lot of that looking in and going, well, where are we at here? But Memphis has got a really good offense too. They're 20th in the nation scoring offense. They're not quite, not nearly the level that Tulane is on defense. The 13.5 just seems too high for me here. Actually, I would probably look at possibly going with the under here, which is what's the number, Matt? Have you seen it?
I want to say 56.5.
Yeah. I just think the number's too big for me. I think Memphis is a quality football team for a reason, and I'm gonna take the Tigers of Memphis on the road to cover. Don't feel super great about it. I'm on it for a half unit here. I think it's something they stay within two touchdowns. So they probably lose by 10 10-11, something like that, like 28-17, the 31-20.
And the hook hasn't been really much of a hook of late. So many missed extra points, man. I mean, tons of extra points missed of
Man,
late.
it's been wild.
And that game is on Thanksgiving night.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if that trumps Dolphins Packers for some people, but you can watch that Thanksgiving night and night game at Tulane. That place is gonna be pretty rowdy. I don't feel super comfortable about this, but I have a hard time throwing 13.5 points against Memphis in an American game.
And we're going to stick with playoff implications, and we're going to go down the line here. So this one's been a fun one since Shane Beamer's taken over at South Carolina. They've just had some dog fights. I know South Carolina actually went into Death Valley, not Death Valley. What do they call it there in Clemson?
Death Valley.
Death Valley. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I thought that's what LSU they called.
They do.
Okay,
they do. Yeah.
There's 2 Death Valleys. Wow. Okay.
And they're both Tigers.
I know my shit. Okay. All right. So Death Valley 2 years ago went in there and beat them, with a late field goal or touchdown. This is when Clemson fans love Dabo. When he could still coach, even though here they are, inside the top 12. But Clemson obviously has a lot to play for. We were talking off there. Clemson wins this game. I feel like they're a pretty much, I would say, probability over 80% to make the college football playoff, because they're not going to be in the ACC title game. And for the most part, we don't know if as long as SMU and Miami take care of business this weekend.
Yeah.
Clemson can if they take care of business at home and win a tough game, they're looking like a pretty good shot to get that last, Power 4 slot. So that's a big deal. But South Carolina trying to sneak in the back door, add this to their resume over teams like Ole Miss and Bama, who've been blundering of late. That's a real good look for South Carolina to catapult the Crimson Tide 13, 14, and take Clemson's spot, who's at 12. So we'll start with you, Kev. 2.5 points. Death Valley is South Carolina also, I think, has one of the top defensive lines in the country. So Mr. Klubnik's not going to probably have a lot of time to throw the ball.
Yeah, I'm just playing a hot hand here. I didn't dive too much into the numbers here, but I think that South Carolina's just playing better football right now. Clemson, while they continue to win, I mean, granted they played the Citadel last week. Beat a Pitt team by 4 a couple weeks ago. It's not such a great Pitt team. Beat Virginia Tech by 10, lost to Louisville by 12 before that. The offense, other than the Citadel game, hasn't put up more than 24 points in a while since Virginia. And Virginia's pretty. And I got a South Carolina team that just keeps being battle tested. Goes on the road, plays an upstart Vandy team, beats them by 3 touchdowns. Beat a Missouri team that I believe their quarterback was back in that one for that, right? Brady Cook played, and Missouri's a much different team when Cook plays. So I'm just both teams basically coming off buys last week as South Carolina played Wofford and Clemson.
Oh, yeah, that 8-game conference schedule just so rough. I know.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to roll here with what I think. I'm just going to roll who I think is the better team right now. I'm going to take the Gamecocks plus the 2.5 points. Probably like them to win outright, and I think I'm going for a unit on this one. So,
Matt, you seem to enjoy my intro to this. Like, you were agreeing with everything I was saying.
I agree with everything you're saying, and I agree with everything Kev said. I'm taking the Gamecocks plus 2.5 as well, and yeah, I wouldn't take the spread. I'd just take straight money line here. I think you get better value.
Juice.
Yeah, I think you get better value. It's probably at a plus 125 or somewhere around there.
Let's get plus 110 on scores and odds. So
okay, but yeah, to Kev's point, I'm looking at Clemson's schedule. They played a ranked Georgia team first game of the year, lost 34-3. They haven't played a ranked team the rest of the season, not one. And say what you want about Illinois. Do they have ranked wins? Do they not? Well, they beat teams that were at least ranked at the time. Maybe they're not ranked now, but Clemson hasn't even played another ranked team until this week in South Carolina all season. So, and I go to what I was agreeing with Ryan with was the South Carolina front 4, front 5. They're dogs in there. I think they're going to cause some havoc on Clemson, who, back to Kev's point, has had some trouble scoring lately. And I'm taking I think I get a better defense here in South Carolina. And I just think they played better competition throughout the season. I think they're going to be well prepared to go into Death Valley and rip Clemson's heart out. So give me the Gamecocks -2 or +2.5.
Fun little SGP here. I might go to the window on this one. Is I like them with the under 49.5 points.
Yeah, I like that.
Both teams are more defensively oriented. I mean, Clemson's scored a boatload of points at times, but it's never against good teams.
Never.
And same with South Carolina. They've gotten some shootouts with teams who can't play defense. Clemson can play some defense here. I think this one sits comfortably under the 49.5 too. So
I like that.
So
that was a half unit, South Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I was going to say, I don't think we went over the units yet, but we're going to move into a top 25 now college football playoff matchup as Matt McCumber's Kansas State Wildcats have jumped back into the top 25. I know Chris Kleiman, right?
Kleiman,
yeah.
Yep.
Kleiman has, had some fun little interviews or conference this week talking about they need to really look at playing eight conference games, because this not having 9 conference games, even though I'm thinking as a Big Ten fan, isn't that normal? I didn't realize that you could just play 8 and have 4 non-conference games, but I'm just finding
that was a recent change in the Big Ten. So,
but I'm just saying of late, I didn't really think about before that Illinois during 12 games had played 4 non-cons anyway. But Chris Kleiman is saying that he's thinking about it now if it's really going to hurt the Big 12. So they've jumped themselves back into it. Now they go at Iowa State, who is a 2.5-point favorite. And Iowa State, if they can beat Kansas State, is putting themselves into the Big 12 title game, where it looks like they'll play Arizona State if they can hold serve as well. What is the stipulation? Anyway, if Kansas State beats Iowa State, are they –
There are a million different scenarios with the Big 12. I mean, it's crazy. You got to get out a rule book. There's a lot.
They might even hold a feather up and see where the wind blows.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenarios that can still happen.
Okay, so we'll start with you, though, Matt, on this one. Do you think Iowa State, who played Utah gave them a game last week,
Yeah.
Do you think Kansas State can go into Ames and take out the take out the Cyclones?
I think they can. Do I think they will? I do not.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead. I'm taking the Cyclones here at home with a Big 12 title game on the line here. This program has never in the history of their football team won 10 games in a season. They're sitting right now at 9 wins. And I think this would mean a whole lot to them to get their first ever 10-win season, get put in the Big 12 title game. It's a whole thing. This is called Farmageddon between Kansas State and Iowa State. They go back and forth on Twitter all day long. Kansas State Wildcats making fun of Iowa State for never winning 10 games before in program history. And, K-State's done that quite a few times in the last 20 plus years, thanks to Bill Snyder. But I just think it's time right here for the Cyclones to finally get to 10 wins, and you're giving me under a field goal. I think it's going to be a well-played game. I also lean on the fact K-State has struggled on the road at times with their quarterback play, with play calling and that kind of thing, where they just seem a little out of sync. So I'm going to take the Cyclones with a lot on the line here at home, feeling good, getting in the Big 12 title game, 1 unit.
Yeah. From what I've watched before we get to Kev here, would take Iowa State's quarterback over Kansas State. Becht. He seems
Rocco Becht.
Rocco Becht. He seems a lot more poised and he takes a little bit better care of the ball. Is it Howard? Is the Kansas State?
It's Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson. He just something about him.
Man, when this guy is guarding the basketball and he cannot get around him, I just don't understand why he is not passing the ball.
The big fundamental was my favorite teammate.
That's pretty good right there.
So Avery Johnson has just, anytime I've watched him, I'm like, I don't know if he's going to throw the perfect ball or if he's going to overshoot the guy by 20 yards. It's just something.
Very talented.
Yes.
They need to run him more. He is a running quarterback that can throw, not the other way around.
Okay. So, yeah.
Hey, just to update, Alabama just beat Houston, so we're good.
Yeah. Now
that helps the Illini.
Sorry for yes. That's what we were all watching. If you're wondering why my head was over here.
So Houston should drop out of the rankings, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, definitely. You know,
them and UConn, right?
Yeah, and UConn. Oh, no way, UConn would. Hey, Memphis and Colorado, both tough. They're tough as nails. Kev, you're up.
That's pretty good. No, here's the one. It's Turkey Day this week, you know, and Matt in his beloved love for the Wildcats, I thought he'd be gobbling on that on some K-State, you know what? But no, he did not, and I will here.
Oh, okay.
I'm not, dude. Iowa State all of a sudden looks like a sieve on defense outside of the Cincinnati game. 45 to Kansas. They gave up 28 to a bad Utah offense, right? Now, Iowa State's scoring a little bit better than they did earlier in the season, but I just don't have a lot of faith in this team. I trust the physicality of Kansas State going in there. Like I said, they both played Cincinnati recently. They both handled them fairly well. Kansas State in a little bit more demanding fashion there. I really love their ability to run the football, especially with Giddens, one of the best running backs in the country, the transfer from Colorado.
Yeah,
I like the Wildcats here. I think Iowa State's leaking oil, and this might be a little bit of a personal pick too, because I just cannot look at Iowa State's resume and understand how they're ahead of Illinois in the college football playoff. I just do not see anything that they've done. Beat. We can look at common opponents, you know, and Illinois got them with beating Kansas. I'm a little biased here, but I'm rolling with K-State. I think K-State covers. I think K-State wins. Another thing that might look a little enticing at first was the under to me, but I'm going to veer away from that. But just give me the Wildcats for a half unit here.
Okay, you can have a half unit, man. It's all yours.
Have it.
You can have it all, man. You want a full one, right, Matt?
Yeah, I want that full one, please.
How about 1.5? So we'll move on to a game here that I think this is a sneaky one too. I think this actually line is a little bit high for me. I'm going to tell you why before we jump in, before I dive in. Syracuse 8-3. So we got Miami at Syracuse in the Carrier Dome, and you might say 10.5 points. Oh, it's Miami. They're 10-1. You know, but if you've watched their games this year, they're definitely prone to give up a bunch of points and even get behind at times and make some fun, miraculous comeback, or, you know, the refs may call it one thing on the field and then change their mind. And then Cal has the worst breakdown in history of college football. But Syracuse is a good team, 8-3. The one game that people might say, but Pitt blew them out, 4 weeks ago. There was just so many wild things in that game.
There's 3 pick sixes.
Yeah, 3
crazy.
Yeah.
In the first half.
Yeah. First half, yeah. 2
of them were tipped balls. One went off a guy's helmet, and all landed in Pitt's hands and ended up in the end zone. So Syracuse is better than, I think, this 10.5 point number. This number in New York. I'm just saying at home. So that's one for me. I'm not picking here, but that's why I think this number is a little too high. So we'll start with you, Kev.
Yeah, I love the Cuse this weekend. I think that Miami's defense is still a sieve, and dude, Syracuse, Kyle McCord. I mean, they can put some points on the board. I mean, he's got more. He's got almost 4,000 passing yards this season and 26 touchdowns. They got Rondé Gadsden Jr. is a great threat in the passing game. They call him a tight end. He's more like a Kyle Pitts. Meek's another wide receiver. I think their passing game is going to score enough points. It's going to make it really difficult for us to be a 10.5 point spread. The over-under is 67.5. And, I mean, there are going to be some points here. Miami's obviously can score with the best of them. Cam Ward's had a phenomenal year. But I'm leaning on the fact that I think Syracuse can score enough points. And
They're thinking
actually,
it's going to be something like 38-28, somewhere at 38-27.
yeah, somewhere around there is what they're looking at. I think Syracuse scores in the 30s. It's hard to beat a team by 10 if you're going to put 30 points on them because I just do not believe in Miami's defense. I know they beat Wake 42-14 last week or something like that.
Yeah, but Wake is not good.
Wake's terrible. So yeah, give me the orange. Give me the Orangemen in upstate New York. Carrier Dome should be rocking. They're excited about their football team. They got a chance to get to 9 wins. One of they're an 8-3 team that nobody really talks about because they've stubbed their toe a couple times. Didn't make any sense. Obviously the Boston College one's the one that sticks out. But yeah, give me the Cuse plus 10.5.
And not to mention they lost to Stanford at home 26-24.
Yeah, that was a weird game.
And Stanford's fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, that was such a weird. That was a Friday night too. Weird game.
If you look at as much as the Illini fans look at and go, "What if?" about the Minnesota game, they've got 2 games like that. What if the Stanford game? What if the Boston College game? Where would they be right now? Right.
Right.
No.
So Matt, you're going to go ahead and tell Kev exactly why he's right. Perfection, right?
Exactly. It's just too many points for me. 10.5 at home with, again, Syracuse still got a lot to play for. Yeah, maybe not college football playoff, but, get to 9 wins and have some bragging rights, knock Miami out of the ACC championship title game, knock them out of the college football playoff. I mean, I know Miami's got a straight shot right now sitting at 6. I mean, they win this game, they're probably going to be in no matter what. But, I see the 10.5 is too much. And Miami has gotten off to slow starts throughout the year. And if this Cuse team can put together a couple drives in the first quarter, maybe get up 10-0, something like that, and Miami's got to fight back all day long. Can Miami do it? Yes. Have they shown the ability to come back and win games? Yes. But they just went to Georgia Tech and got off to a slow start and couldn't recover. They came back, but Georgia Tech still was able to stave them off and win the game. So I'm looking at 10.5 with the ability to score with good quarterback play. I think both of these quarterbacks are very good. I'm taking the Cuse at home plus 10.5, half unit.
Another thing is you got no weather environment whatsoever with being indoors. You got a fast track at the Carrier. That over is looking sexier and sexier.
Yeah, I would play the over here.
There's been so much exciting ball on, no doubt. Like I saw people in the comments about Iowa State Dayton. It was tied. Everything in Maui's been pretty fun so far. So there's a lot going on right now, no doubt.
What's up, Lindro? That's my brother, Lindro. What up, big dog? Good to see you on the show.
Lindon Lotion is your brother?
Yeah, Lindy. Yeah, we've been friends since I was 8 years old.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. I mean, I met about half your crew at the tailgate a few weeks ago, but
yep.
So last game here, Texas A&M, obviously really, really, really big. You know what they say, everything in Texas is bigger, right, Matt?
Sure is.
So the stakes are just even bigger in this game, just naturally.
It just means more.
Yeah, it just means more. 5.5 point favorite are the Longhorns, who will be heading to College Station. And it's unfair that they have to take on the 12th man. You know what I mean? Like the moment you get there, it's the 12th man. So Texas A&M coming off of a bad loss. It's a bad loss at Auburn.
Called it.
In 3 overtimes. It was the fun 2-point.
Four overtimes. The third one had no points. It's crazy.
Sorry. The 4th overtime. I did sit and watch it. I was happy for Hugh Freeze to get that win. I was wanting, A&M to get knocked down a little bit a peg, hoping that the committee would drop them a little bit more and put Illinois in front of them. But, so that didn't happen. But Texas A&M, obviously, this is a rivalry matchup. They've got a lot at stake here. They win the game. They're in the Big 12 title game. I mean, sorry. They're in the SEC title.
SEC.
Sorry, the conference realignment. The SEC title game. And Texas, obviously, big reason for them. You don't want to lose it. And, just chance. Probably if they lost this game, I still think they might make it at the 10-11 spot probably. But you don't want to risk that because they don't really have many big wins. That's the thing. Their schedule's not really very good if you look at their metrics and resume. So, big game here. We'll start with you, Matt. It's in College Station, 5.5.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to be part of one of these games when I was down at Texas A&M, and I mean it will be electric there in College Station. They will be out for blood. First time they're facing one another as SEC foe now. Been talking about it for years now since A&M left to go to the SEC and Texas State back for the Big 12. But rivalry game like this, no way, 5.5 with Quinn Ewers. Maybe having some health issues here. I know he's going to play and all that stuff, but is he really 100% healthy? We'll find out. But I just 5.5. Aggies coming off that demoralizing loss at Auburn, but I think it's a chance to refocus. And to Ryan's point, I mean, both of these teams really control their own destiny. I mean, win the game, you set yourself up. And Aggies sitting at 20th in the college football playoff. Win this game, they're in the Big 12 title game. They win that, they're in college football playoff.
SEC.
Yeah,
sorry.
See? They're in the college football playoff, sitting at 20th right now. So
Booger McFarland made sure he mentioned that on the show. He goes,
exactly.
Don't worry about those 3 losses for A&M. They beat Texas. They're in the SEC title game, and they win that game, and they're in the
right. And so, I mean, it's one thing, SEC that allows you to, go from 20th all the way to college football playoff. But again, they control their own destiny. And I just think 5.5 is way too much in a rivalry game like this. So I'm taking the Aggies in a bounce back game against their hated rival in College Station. Give them 1 unit plus 5.5.
Is this prime time?
That it is, Ryan.
It is.
Is at a home? Is there a home dog in this?
I wasn't going to steal your thunder.
No, that would be correct.
Okay, I'm setting him up, baby. Don't worry. I'm throwing him a meatball. Okay. So it's prime time. Home. Okay, home and home dog. Okay, so Kev, you're up. What's your pick?
You know it, baby. I actually love that Scott Van Pelt has started to coin a term on his winners, and he calls it a GPG, general principle game. And that my general principle is I take home underdogs in primetime. I actually went against it earlier in the season on a lock, and it bit me in the ass. You look at what happened last week. Oklahoma shocks Bama. They were a 2-touchdown dog. Auburn was a dog, and the line didn't make any sense, and they beat A&M.
We need to hashtag HDIPT. You're gonna start doing that.
I need a hat. HDIPT, right?
Yeah, right there.
So, but here's a couple other things. And Matt mentioned this. This game was played for 96 consecutive games from 1915 to 2011. They have not played each other since 2011.
Man.
And part of the reason why that A&M left Big 12.
It's not prime time. Sorry.
I'll address that. One of the reasons why A&M left the Big 12 is because of Texas and the revenue that the Texas was pulling strings. Same kind of reason with Nebraska. So there's absolutely, and Matt knows this better than I do, there's zero love lost here, right? Texas, their biggest rivalry is Oklahoma, and A&M's going to point right to the Longhorns here. I think they're coming in. I think they're coming for blood. Texas has not really proven much to me lately.
No.
I think the Aggies might win this. I'd love for the Aggies to win this just to throw a big shit burger and everything. Right. So I'm gonna take the Aggies plus the 5.5. It's way too many points in such a heated rivalry game. I think they fixed some things this week. I like Elko. I think he's a good coach. I like Sarkisian too. I think he's done a good job at Texas. But give me the Aggies plus the 5.5. Oh, and by the way, that's a home game for Illinois, Lindy. We'll have way more orange and blue in the stadium than purple on Saturday.
And then the following Friday, we're going to have a lot more orange and blue in their basketball arena that they sold out, that they posted on their social media as well.
I know they were they did something where they were restricting tickets to Illinois fans or something like that, didn't they?
They probably tried to, but you know how many people bought some.
Oh, for sure.
So and also it's not prime time, Lindy.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's an 11 a.m. kick. And by the way, 13 degrees. It's going to be a cold one up there. Yeah, it's going to be.
I can't. That's another thing. I'm so excited about this playoff to see some of these SEC teams going to have to go play in Columbus or play in Happy Valley, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
So
I'm trying to tell you, man, that they just don't get it, man. It's a different world. Matt and I don't live up there for a reason anymore.
Man,
I don't miss Midwest winters, boy.
yeah.
Sure don't.
Yeah, but it builds character, man. Anyway, yeah, but I think it's gonna be like 20 at kickoff for Illinois Northwestern.
Woo!
Yeah, that's a warm, the warmest part.
Balmy.
Yeah, Bill will be okay. He'll just have his windbreaker on. He'll be fine. Yeah. Big old polar bear. So that'll do. Did we do our units on that one for you guys?
I did one unit.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to go to the lock portion. And how did you do last week on your lock, Matt?
I won my lock. I took the Fighting Trojans of USC
right on
at home. Or no, I think it was.
They might have been at UCLA.
They were at UCLA. They were at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, because it was only 4.5. If it
4.5.
Yeah,
4.5.
10 if they were.
Yeah, right. And I took them -4.5 to get bowl eligible, and they came through for me. So I will gladly take that and help me get.
You're going USC again this week, right? Against Notre Dame, right?
I am not.
Okay.
I should have, though, maybe. No.
I got to look at mine right now, so please go on. Give me about 3 minutes.
I am going to go to the game with all due respect to Harvard-Yale. I'm going Michigan, Ohio State over 43.5. I think this is a Michigan defense. Yes, they've got great talent, but they're susceptible on defense. I think they're going to give up some points here to Ohio State. And I think, Ohio State's going to score on them. Ohio State's going to be out for blood too. And Michigan can score. I don't think, they're going to put up huge numbers here, but at 43.5, I just think it's too low for me. And I mean, they're saying this is going to be what, a 24-20 game, or a little less than, maybe like 28, 13, something like that. So I'm taking the over 43.5 in Michigan.
I like it. I think that Michigan is like last week against Northwestern. I love the over 36.5. And I mean, obviously that covered with ease.
It covered ease. Yeah.
Right. Michigan hanging 50 on them. So I'm with you. I'm with you, Matt. I think the public is a little bit slow to react to the fact that Michigan does give up some points. I think their offense is finding a little bit of a stride too. Now
they are. Yeah.
The Ohio State defense is obviously legit. This one might get ugly though. I mean, if Ohio State's defense shuts down Michigan completely, this thing could get ugly. So maybe you're going to have them carry the water for you. But I certainly think they can.
I think they can.
I hit my lock last week, and kind of one of those things when you ride a squad, you ride a squad. Duke covered; they were a dog at home against Virginia Tech. Weird. They end up winning the game outright. This week they are a 4-point favorite against a bad Wake team. Duke was still something to play for. Good team. I like what they're doing. Duke is one of the top teams in the country. They're a top 15, top 20 team in the country at sacking the quarterback. They're also one of the top 15, 20 teams in the nation in protecting the quarterback. Wake Forest lives on the opposite side of the spectrum. They're almost in the hundreds in sacks, and they are in the hundreds in sacks allowed, I believe. So I look for when you can't protect you can do one of those things well, but you can't do two of them poorly and expect to win a game, especially when the other team does both of them really well. Give me the Blue Devils -4. I think they cover it with ease. I looked at some other ones. I like Army this week, but UTSA is playing really good football. It's only 7 there.
I like that.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with that one there. Ryan, did you find something you'll like? Here's the suggestion: stick with what you know, buddy. You know the Big Ten.
I do know the Big Ten, but I also know I see TCU and Cincinnati.
Yes, Cincinnati's bad right now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take TCU 3.5.
Yeah.
over Cincinnati. I think because TCU's a scoring machine, and their quarterback's thrown for like 5,000 yards, I think, about 4,000, something like that. Anyway, and Cincinnati not playing very well right now. That's true. And then so I'm gonna pick that one. So I'm gonna pick TCU again. I try to stick with I was rolling with Army a lot earlier in the year.
Yeah.
I won last week, by the way. Anybody? You guys know
Yes, you did.
so I got back on. I think I'm 6-4. So I was looking at what Big Ten game that I would have wanted.
Well, how about this? I'll throw a couple questions at you.
Okay.
There's a couple intriguing matchups in the Big Ten for some bowl eligibility here.
Yeah.
I
Wisconsin.
Does Wisconsin beat Minnesota and get bowl eligible?
Man, okay. If you were to ask me how they've been playing, I'd tell you no. And how Minnesota
agree. But I think Wisconsin's at home, right?
They are at home.
They are 11 a.m. kick on Friday.
I'm taking Wisconsin all day.
Okay.
On that setup.
The one that I'm not going to touch is the Rutgers Michigan State.
That was another one I was going to ask you. There you go.
And it's in East Lansing, and they're fighting for bowl eligibility. Yet they let Purdue hang around with them, and I'm thinking, okay, but they're fighting for bowl eligibility, and Rutgers, while is playing decent of late, it's still not in Piscataway. So that's a tough one too, in my opinion.
Yeah, Michigan State's a much different ball club at home.
Yeah,
Rutgers is so banged up. I mean, how many guys got hurt Saturday against Illinois?
Yeah, that's true, but we won't know what the scouting. They won't let us know until Friday or Saturday. And then I was looking at Nebraska and Iowa. That's a blood. With Holgerson now and Iowa, their quarterback. We don't know if Cade McNamara is starting or is it going to be their fourth stringer again.
Yeah, I just.
And if it's 5.5, I might pick Nebraska on that one.
I kind of like Iowa. I hate to say it.
Okay. Yeah, so that's why I was just staying away from some of these really tight lines with bowl eligibility. I was and the one I might do, right? I saw Oregon and Washington. What is it, 17, 18?
18.5, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I think Oregon might blow their doors off, but I know it's a rivalry. And remember what happened last year? Oregon lost to them in 2 heartbreakers that kept them out of the college football playoff. So I feel like they're going to blow their doors off. So anyway, anything else, you guys? Anything else, Matt?
The one I would ride with? KU minus 1.5 at Baylor.
Yeah. I was going to pick the money line. I'd pick Kansas money line.
You're saying Sikkim? Wow.
I think it wears off. I think they run out of steam.
Okay. It might be. I'm just thinking the steam has gone from +3. Now they're minus 1.5.
I think they're motivated to get to a bowl game, man.
I think so too. I
think they don't want this season to end now. I think they're really enjoying it, and they got Devin Neal, Baylor's susceptible.
Baylor's won 5 in a row, man. Baylor's hot.
Yeah, but the two hottest teams are run. And what's that? The movable object against the
movable force or whatever.
Yeah, movable force. Yeah.
Another one I might look at is take UNC at home. Just fired Mac Brown.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know. I think he was obviously pushed out because he said he wouldn't come back for another year.
He's like, I'm coming back. I ain't going nowhere. And their athletic director's like, over my dead body.
When teams fire a coach mid-season or there's a change here or there, sometimes they come out and you see it where they play really motivated football.
Hey, Dave Warren and the Wolfpack are fighting for a bowl, though.
I know. That would be the only thing I would not like. But
I think
here's one for you guys before we head off, since it's not a game we discussed tonight. Illinois Northwestern, Illinois plus 7.5, knowing it's going to be 20 degrees. Just Illinois pound the ball and win a close one by maybe 10, maybe 7. What do you think? Northwestern just got beat 50-6.
I know.
It's Michigan.
I think the Illini win by 17 plus.
Okay. I'm with Matt on that one. I think that's a good pick there. I think Purdue dump trucks. I mean, Indiana dump trucks Purdue.
Oh, they're going to be pissed off.
It's 28.5. They're pissed off. They're watching their all the things, like they cannot have a close game. Signetti will keep the foot on the gas in the fourth quarter.
Exactly.
He's got to. I mean, Ryan Day just did it to him. Like, what the hell?
We were talking about that on Keeping It Orange and Blue. How big of a dick move was that from Ryan Day when they cut it to 31-15 with like a minute and a half left? And
I read up on this is that inside Ohio State, they're a little bit pissed off about Cignetti's mouth running when he specifically all the way back to when he took the job and he shit on Ohio State. And they're like, you know what? Like, we're gonna rub some salt in your eye here.
Huh. I just was like, man, because it's like they had the ball at the 2 and with like 40 seconds left, and it's like you could just take a knee, you know? They're like, no, we're running it in again. Yeah, I'm just like, oh my God.
Ryan, I love your TCU pick. That's a good one. It is a quasi night game, but I don't think Cincinnati fans give a crap.
Yeah. Are they 5-6 or are they 4-7?
5-6.
Okay, so they're playing for a bowl game, but yeah, TCU's just, I think, better.
I think Notre Dame covers at USC -7. I think Notre Dame's playing really good football right now. Nobody wants to admit it. It's looking like a really good football
What
team.
happened to USC's quarterback? Did he get hurt?
Miller Moss? No, he just got benched.
He's transferred.
Gosh, man, I'm that far behind. Damn.
Yeah, so Miller Moss got benched and he hit the transfer portal. So
I did not know he hit the transfer portal.
Yep, he did. Even though they're going to get Bryce Underwood, I think Michigan was one place that was looking at him like to come in and be their guy next year.
Hope we don't have to go look for a quarterback.
I don't know. I know you've been possibly hearing that. I think Luke looks like he's having a hell of a time, man.
He sure does.
You know, I think people will pony up. I think that'll happen. So
I wouldn't be surprised if Luke tells him, you don't have to give me that much more money. Go get me another wide receiver in the portal.
Yeah.
Like that.
Hey, and let's just give it love where it is. If Patrick Bryant, if you're not worthy to be on the Blitnikoff Award, then I don't know.
It's a joke.
There's 70 guys on the award. He's 10th in the country in touchdowns and 20th in yards.
Yeah, he's 20th in yards, but what is he in average per catch?
That's right. Yeah, it's insane.
I think he's 5th.
Yeah, he's 5th in average. It's like 18.6 yards a catch.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, yeah, who cares about to me, it's not like how many yards does he have? Well, how many catches? Okay, he's got 50 for 917 yards or something like that. It's like nuts. So anyway, that'll do it. My article out from Mike Farrell Sports, the rivalry week matchups and headlines. Got a lot of good stuff in there about this week's bowl matchups that we talked about here, what it means for each team. I cover all the college football scenarios. So check that out if you haven't already.
Awesome.
All right. Call me out.